From its inception, the live-action Halo series has stirred up quite the controversy among dedicated gamers. The controversial decision to depict Master Chief without his iconic helmet basically drove fans batshit crazy. Furthermore, the introduction of show-exclusive characters receiving significant screen time was met with disdain because the hardcore gamers only ever wanted to see the show focusing on the Spartans. To numerous veteran Halo players, it appeared that showrunners Stephen Kane and Kyle Killen were constantly making missteps throughout the first season set in the 26th century. Season 1 immerses us in the intergalactic conflict between the United Nations Space Command and the Covenant. The UNSC's mission was to safeguard every planet under its jurisdiction, while the Covenant relentlessly invaded planets and sought mysterious artifacts. Now, Makee emerged as the emblematic figure of the Covenant, while the Master Chief became the iconic symbol of the UNSC. Additionally, the series delved into intricate political dynamics, intertwining personal dramas among its primary and supporting characters. Meanwhile, Dr. Catherine Halsey, the mastermind behind the Spartan program overseen by Master Chief, and Cortana, the AI designed to assist him, became fugitives after faking her death using a clone. Well, Season 1 ended with Makee's apparent demise and Cortana's purported takeover of Master Chief's consciousness. But Season 2, which is currently streaming on Paramount+, marks a significant turnaround for the troubled adaptation. Under the guidance of new creative lead David Weiner, the series undergoes quite a rejuvenation, presenting a more cohesive and engaging Halo experience compared to its predecessor. Weiner's decision to reduce the episode count for the new season is justified by a tighter narrative structure, ensuring that Season 2 wastes no time in diving straight into the action. So, without wasting another moment, let's find out what happened in the first 2 episodes of Halo Season 2.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
The season begins with a harrowing Master Chief Covenant altercation. The episode kicks off right where the Season 1 finale left off, and we see Master Chief lying on an operating table in critical condition, as his connection to Cortana is being severed in order to save his life while he writhes in pain. The show then fast-forwards to 6 months later, as the present-day storyline unfolds with Master Chief and the Spartan Silver Team investigating the puzzling disappearance of a UNSC Marine unit and the looming threat of a Covenant assault on Sanctuary. We then witness the frantic evacuation of Sanctuary, situated in the Brantis system, as the UNSC scrambles to vacate the area before the Covenant unleashes their devastating glassing tactic, transforming the entire landscape into molten lava. From a distance, the Spartans, including Master Chief, Riz, Kai, and Vanek, observe the proceedings. But when the locals refuse to leave, Master Chief and Riz take it upon themselves to expedite the process, while Vanek and Kai maintain their positions. Amidst this tension, Kai detects something amiss in the mountains and considers alerting the team, although Vanek advises against it, deeming it to not be a big deal. While they were speaking to the village elders, Master Chief is confronted with cryptic remarks about family and home, prompting him to think about his orphaned past under Halsey's care. However, before he can dwell on these thoughts, duty calls him to investigate the mountainous region for some potential Covenant activity. Instead, they stumble upon a crew of lost UNSC soldiers from the communications team ensnared by the thick fog. As they attempt to extricate them, they come under sudden assault from Covenant forces, who are now utilizing cloaking technology to camouflage themselves while launching their attacks. Now, this gripping action sequence is somewhat marred by the dim lighting, and while it certainly evokes the atmosphere, I still think it could be better adjusted to showcase the talents of the stunt choreographers, the VFX artists, the CGI artists, the SFX artists, and even the actors involved. While darkness adds to the mood, with this being a fictional production, there's always room for flexibility in creating a more visually coherent fight scene. Anyways, just as Master Chief believes he's vanquished the last of the Covenant soldiers and prepares to escort a survivor named Talia Perez to safety, they find themselves encircled by a brute force of at least 20 to 30 more Covenant soldiers. But to their surprise, the Covenant didn't attack, they instead withdrew. Amidst this chaos, Master Chief spots a hooded figure bearing a striking resemblance to Makee, but given the opening scene suggesting Cortana's influence over his consciousness, it is plausible that this sighting might be a hallucination. Before Master Chief can pursue this mysterious individual, the Covenant initiate their glassing procedure, forcing a hasty retreat for everyone involved. But unfortunately, the Elder and her followers decide to remain and face their fate on the planet, But before that, she imparts a cryptic piece of advice to Master Chief, asking him to rediscover his faith or he might die very soon. Well, we don't have any idea what that means. It does hint at Master Chief's potential loss of his psychic connection to the Covenant's sought-after artifacts, possibly due to Cortana's influence. So, if he doesn't reclaim this ability, his chances of survival in the ongoing conflict might be pretty slim. Halsey's replacement comes in and suspends the entire Silver Team along with Master Chief. So Master Chief tries to raise concerns about the Covenant's unusual behavior on Sanctuary, questioning their ground-level activity despite their intent to destroy the planet. However, Captain Jacob Keyes dismisses his inquiries, directing him to address any further questions to the Office of Naval Intelligence. But Miranda Keyes is notably absent from the scene and perhaps is dealing with her mother's betrayal elsewhere on Reach. Soon, the debriefing between the Spartans and Jacob is interrupted by the arrival of Halsey's replacement, James Ackerson, who expresses his admiration for the Spartans, particularly Silver Team, and also emphasizes the importance of maintaining secrecy regarding the ongoing war from the inhabitants of Reach and other UNSC territories, citing it as his vision for ultimate peace. Now, Master Chief attempts to engage Ackerson in a private discussion, intending to share his concerns about the Covenant's alarming behavior, which could probably lead to something more sinister. However, Ackerson deflects by shifting the conversation towards Halsey and Cortana, explicitly blaming Master Chief's vague warnings to be the result of his supposed mental instability. On top of that, compounding his frustration, the UNSC fails to acknowledge the Spartans' pivotal role in evacuating Sanctuary, instead crediting linguistic specialist Talia Perez for the effort, and, to make matters worse, they completely ground the entire Silver Team, while the Cobalt Team is dispatched for repair duties without any forewarning about Covenant activity. Even if the Master Chief does his best to provide vital intelligence, he isn't being taken seriously. Meanwhile, back on the Rubble, some sort of an auction ensues, drawing attention from a dude named Felix who claims to know of Catherine Halsey's whereabouts. This revelation intrigues Soren, but his wife Layra advises him to be careful, urging him to prioritize saving the galaxy. Layra also warns Soren of the growing dissent among their crew, particularly concerning his failure to share their spoils acquired from Madrigal. But, despite Layra's suggestion of fleeing with their son, Soren opts for a different course of action. Master Chief feels hopeless and unheard. During a visit to the city, Master Chief unexpectedly encounters Margaret Perengoski, who appears to have been stripped of her position and now leads a normal civilian life. Seizing this opportunity, he gives her the details about what happened at the Sanctuary, prompting Margaret to alert him about Ackerson's perceived inaction. She advises Master Chief to independently gather evidence regarding the Covenant's evolving tactics and to share it with her directly, bypassing Ackerson's authority. After this exchange, Master Chief ventures into a virtual lap dance room where he finds solace in confiding his thoughts to a simulated version of McKee. His interaction with the simulated companion yields little tangible progress, but it prompts Master Chief to introspect on the events of the Battle of Sanctuary. He finds himself fixating on a haunting memory with the distinct recollection of McKee's voice imploring him to stay with her right before the Covenant's sudden retreat. Now, this encounter serves as a stark indication that Cortana's influence has been purged from his system, raising questions about the narrative's departure from the somber tone of Season 1's conclusion. While we do understand the reasoning behind maintaining Master Chief's humanity, the abrupt resolution of his internal struggle feels like a missed opportunity for a more nuanced exploration in the plot. I think we would have loved to have seen more of his behavior under Cortana's influence before he gradually came to his senses. Episode 1 ends with Soren's arrest. In a bid to reaffirm his authority over the Rubble and re-establish rapport with his crew, Soren decides to pursue Felix's lead and capture Catherine Halsey. However, the plan backfires spectacularly, and it turns out to be a ruse. Soren's crew departs him while Felix reveals his true identity as a UNSC officer. Soren is arrested with assistance from other officers. Despite the dramatic turn of events, the visual effects and CGI throughout the sequence maintain a commendable standard. As Halo's Season 2 Episode 1 draws to a close, Soren's family learns of his fate, believing him to be deceased due to misinformation spread by his crew, who falsely portray his demise during the attempted capture of Halsey. However, the reality is that Soren is alive and will face trial for his actions, a truth that should have been communicated to Lyra and Kessler. Overwhelmed with grief, Kessler retreats into the caves, while Quan, who once wanted to protect Madrigal, finds herself at a crossroads upon Soren's absence. Meanwhile, the sight of the Covenant's Skyfleet emerging from the clouds poised for attack validates Master Chief's concerns and underscores the UNSC's underestimation of the looming threat. Episode 2 begins with a deadly interview. Episode 2 starts with Dr. Halsey engaging in a conversation with a young red-headed girl. The girl enters an opulent room where Halsey is admiring an indoor tree and serves her afternoon tea and treats. As they converse, the girl describes the fruit from the tree before presenting Halsey with a backgammon board game. Amidst the gameplay, Halsey subtly probes the girl about her experiences outside the room, but the girl hesitates to divulge any information, feeling pressured to keep certain details concealed. Despite this reluctance, the girl shares glimpses of her memories beyond the confines of the room, including encounters with a mysterious man who seems to hold significance to Halsey. As the conversation progresses, the girl experiences a sudden nosebleed and a growing sense of unease, coinciding with Halsey's persistent inquiries about the man. Tragically, the tension reaches its climax as the girl collapses lifeless on the table, leaving Halsey visibly frustrated and perplexed by the abrupt turn of events. Now, in the final scenes of Halo Season 1, Halsey was observed documenting her observations about humanity in Manassas after orchestrating her own fake death. Given her history of intricate schemes, it's plausible that this mysterious interaction with the young girl could indeed be another facet of her ongoing analysis. However, the implications of the girl's sudden demise raise questions about the true nature of Halsey's involvement and hint at potentially darker intentions behind her actions.
The Silver Team ain't doing so well.
Back at UNSC Command on Reach, Spartans Kai and Riz engage in a private conversation concerning Riz's fitness for combat duty, as her body is still reeling from the injuries she sustained in Season 1. Despite Kai's empathetic suggestion that Riz should take a well-deserved break, Riz's unwavering Spartan pride renders her naturally resistant to the idea. Kai then approaches Master Chief, who is fixedly gazing at the mission information display system. On a side note, it is quite intriguing that amidst the highly advanced technology of this futuristic planet, the mission information display system remains decidedly analog. Operated by a manual card changer who physically updates the status of each team, it adds dramatic flair to the atmosphere, imbuing the scene with tension and anticipation. Now, Master Chief is furious as he observes the card changer switching Cobalt's status from deployed to standby, which makes him think that there's something the UNSC doesn't want any of them to find out. During this exchange, Master Chief confides in Kai about seeing McKee in Sanctuary, but Kai's expression betrays her concern for Master Chief's mental well-being, apprehensive about his claim that someone she had shot dead had resurfaced. Chief then rages on to Ackerson's office to have his little chat.
Quan kills to secure her freedom.
Returning to the Rubble, we find Quan making a dramatic reappearance after her absence since the middle of Season 1. Immersed in the Rubble community, Quan has formed a bond with Kessler, the son of former Spartan Soren 066. A glimpse into a typical day in the Rubble reveals the grim reality faced by its inhabitants, particularly those like Quan, who are marked with location beacons similar to livestock. Now, two guys, Clive and Oswin, claim they belong to a faction known as the Spiffs and are responsible for monitoring refugees in the area. Desperate to rid herself of the beacon, Quan frantically attempts to remove it from her body as the two trackers close in on her location. When Oswin attempts to intervene, Quan flees, prompting a high-octane chase with Oswin and Clive in pursuit. The chase unfolds with impressive stunt work, camera work, and editing, culminating in the demise of Oswin and Clive. Despite the ordeal, Quan successfully manages to rid herself of the tracker, albeit with considerable pain. Meanwhile, back on Reach, Lewis, a former Spartan who's blind, offers Riz counsel, suggesting she take a break rather than dedicating her entire life to being a Spartan. Despite Riz's refusal to entertain the idea, her expressions betray a tacit acknowledgement of Lewis's wisdom. It becomes evident that she understands the necessity of considering alternatives for her future endeavors.
Well, Chief confronts Ackerson, Lyra finds out the truth.
So, Master Chief confronts Ackerson in search of answers regarding the Cobalt situation, only to be met with the expected frustration as Ackerson continues to evade his inquiries. Growing increasingly aggravated, Master Chief threatens to take matters into his own hands, only to be reminded by Ackerson of his absolute authority within their institution. The tension escalates as Ackerson reveals that Perez, the lone survivor of the Covenant assault on Sanctuary, has contradicted Master Chief's account of the events. While this is naturally recognized as a fabrication, the perplexing question arises as to why Ackerson is perpetuating the charade. One can't help but question his reluctance to acknowledge the looming threat of the Covenant. Perhaps Ackerson perceives over-preparedness as a strategic advantage, a facade to instill a false sense of security within the UNSC and ONI. This deliberate denial of reality may serve as a coping mechanism for powerful figures faced with an overwhelmingly superior adversary, opting to discredit dissenting voices rather than confront the harsh truth.
The Chief pushes the Spartans to train for the worst.
Back on Reach, the Silver Team undergoes intense training sessions, particularly focusing on Riz, who is currently deemed the weakest link. When Kai questions him about his rigorous approach, Master Chief explains his intuition that the Covenant is preparing for a significant operation, necessitating their heightened readiness. The sequence featuring the Spartans is notably impressive, from the atmospheric setting to the dynamic action, exemplified by Riz's daring maneuvers from great heights. Moreover, the scene serves as a testament to the show's ability to meet the expectations of fans by keeping the Spartans' helmets on. It showcases the collaborative efforts of the actors, directors, writers, editors, and cinematographers in effectively conveying the Spartans' experiences without excessive reliance on helmet removal. This successful execution suggests the potential for further refinement in future seasons, potentially doubling down on the Spartans' helmet acting skills while maintaining their iconic appearance. Anyways, following the rigorous training regimen, Riz seeks guidance from therapist Danilo, tasked with tending to Spartans grappling with physical and psychological wounds. This interaction, along with the conversation between Ackerson and Kai regarding Master Chief's mental well-being, sheds light on the ethical implications of utilizing government-sanctioned soldiers without adequate consideration for their health. Through Danilo's character, the show hints at the possibility of individuals possessing extraordinary insight or persuasive abilities. However, it remains ambiguous whether Danilo's effectiveness stems from innate abilities or simply his aptitude for guiding Spartans through their emotional turmoil and helping them confront their inner demons. Dr. Halsey is trying to establish another cloning program while Chief confronts Perez. The show shifts focus momentarily back to Catherine Halsey, interrogating another iteration of Julia, only for the subject to meet a similar fate, reinforcing the suspicion of a cloning program at play. While the show attempts to portray Ackerson as more sinister than Halsey, the latter remains a more menacing figure. Despite the narrative's efforts to evoke disdain towards Halsey, her character retains a compelling depth, shaped by a detailed and emotionally charged arc in Season 1 that hasn't necessarily led to positive change. Even through the show's attempts to vilify her, Halsey's multifaceted nature elicits a palpable sense of disdain. This nuanced portrayal underscores the complexity of her character and the moral ambiguity surrounding her actions, ultimately leaving us torn on whether she should be hated or not. Regardless, the scene jumps to Master Chief confronting Perez regarding the lies she's propagated, but soon he finds himself in the middle of a heartwarming dinner scene with Perez's family celebrating her supposed achievement. However, the mood quickly turns solemn as Perez confesses the reason behind her deception, which is a lack of faith in the UNSC and Oni's willingness to believe her. Plus, this also highlights the inherent challenges faced by individuals because the UNSC and Oni would not believe the chief, so them even looking at a linguistics officer is pretty far-fetched. And the only reason they haven't arrested Chief is because he's the face of the Spartan program. So, I'm pretty sure Perez would have met a grim fate if she'd confessed that the UNSC and Oni aren't ready to face how dangerously radical the Covenant truly is. Episode 2 ends with some big reveals. So apparently, Dr. Halsey is discovered to be imprisoned within Reach, confined to a virtual reality program which is being overseen by Ackerson. But why Ackerson is intriguingly dispatching clones of Julia to Halsey's virtual confinement remains shrouded in mystery. As for Cortana, Ackerson has somehow captured the AI program, confining her within a closed-loop system to run simulations with ominous implications, although the exact nature of these simulations remains undisclosed. The episode hints at Ackerson's ambiguous motives regarding Cortana's confinement, leaving us to wonder whether he views her as a mere tool or harbors more sinister intentions. Furthermore, a piece of the artifact is revealed to be housed within the same facility as Cortana and Halsey, suggesting Ackerson's involvement in a much grander scheme. His interaction with the artifact implies a desire to wield its power, resembling the Chosen Ones like McKee and Master Chief, though his true intentions regarding this remain elusive. At the conclusion of Halo Season 2, Episode 2, Master Chief discovers that the Cobalt team remains on Reach, prompting him to rally his teammates and warn them of the Covenant's breach on the planet's defenses. Indeed, a harrowing scene unfolds as a small contingent of UNSC soldiers dies at the hands of a Covenant warrior who happens to be McKee, who intervenes and demands access to a vault door. As McKee strides into the vault, another fragment of the larger keystone found in Iridanu 2 comes into view, signaling her pivotal role in the unfolding events. The revolution that McKee is leading the Covenant raises numerous questions about her survival, yet the show leaves these inquiries unanswered, prompting us to speculate on potential explanations, ranging from her genetic resilience to her advanced healing abilities. The shocking twist leaves us eagerly anticipating the next installment, which will finally address the significance of McKee's return and the trajectory of her character arc. Marvelous verdict! In our opinion, this season of Halo demonstrates its merit as a faithful adaptation of the cherished video game franchise. While the deliberate pacing is noticeable, there is an appreciation for the cast's opportunity to reflect on their actions and motivations. With 6 episodes remaining, we expect a significant escalation in the action, which feels more like a necessity than an option at this point. So far, the show confidently navigates its source material, seamlessly building upon the groundwork laid in Season 1 while delivering on its myriad pledges. While it may lack the lightheartedness to be deemed outright fun, the show's strengths lie in its gripping action, palpable sense of paranoia, and some standout performances. What have you thought about Halo Season 2 so far? Let us know in the comments section down below, and thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.